Today, I'm back with another mega physical media ranking video for you all. Today, I'm going to be letting y'all know my top 5 favorite monster movies in 4K or creature feature, however you want to say. I'm going to go through my top 5, ranking them from the worst to the best. As I go through each of the titles, I will tell you why I put them at their specific spot. But if you made my top 5, you're definitely a movie I really enjoy. So let's get into number 5. So right here at the bottom of the pile, I have The Thing. Yes, John Carpenter's The Thing. While this is a great movie, it is just so intriguing to see kind of, I guess, the creature body swapping, you could say. All the practical effects. I mean, some of them just look so weird and disturbing. Just how the thing looks like when it transforms and mutates and just looks so bizarre. And then when it becomes, a person basically, and you don't know who really is the thing. And it's like a mystery, and they're all trying to discover who is it, who's already transformed, who's still a human. And it's just kind of a mystery back and forth. But really awesome movie, very intriguing. I like the premise of it being in a snow area. The practical effects, once again, are great. The music and sound design, of course, is amazing with it being a John Carpenter movie. So it's a movie that just really flows well. And if you're a horror fan, you're gonna like The Thing. And I really love the slipcover here. Looks so cool. And 4K quality here is definitely fantastic. So I really like The Thing if you can get it with the slipcover still. This is a really nice addition. It also looked pretty cool in the 4K Steelbook. I didn't get that one, but that one looked awesome as well. But any 4K copy of this one will do. Just kind of show you real quick what it looks like on the back. See what you can get with it. You do get some bonus features there. At least just a little bit, a few bonus features kind of talking about the making of The Thing, which I thought was pretty interesting. But yes, definitely the ultimate alien terror. So I guess you could consider it an alien movie, but I don't know. When I think of The Thing, I just think of a creature feature, a monster movie. But yes, it's also an alien. So yeah, it could go in a few different categories, but my list, so I'm going to put it on here. And just to look at the inside real quick before we move on, just to see if there's anything special on the inside. You do get the digital code, which is nice. But on the inside, yeah, nothing too special on the inside, but I do like the way the 4K disc looks, same as the front cover. Wish they did something else with the Blu-ray, but at least you can tell it apart from the 4K, which is something. But would have been nice to have a different design on there. I would have liked to see what Scream Factory did with this one. They'd probably do a really cool design, maybe even, more of a box slip out cover with it, possibly. But yeah, I would have definitely liked to see what Scream Factory could do with it. But no worries, this was still a solid studio release by Universal. So I still really like this one. John Carpenter's The Thing. One of the best John Carpenter movies out there. Can't go wrong with this one. But really like this one. That's why I had to make my list. Alright, next, going into our number 4 here, we're going to have Jaws. Dun-na-dun-na. Yes. Look at this one. I love this steelbook, the 45th anniversary limited edition. This steelbook just looks so cool. And when I got it, it was pretty cheap as well. I think it was only about 20 bucks or so. But this movie is amazing. Directed by the GOAT, Steven Spielberg, my favorite director of all time. This movie is just so atmospheric. I just rewatched it again on the big IMAX screen. And wow, I was blown away by this movie. It just gets you into the movie right away with the music that goes around with Jaws. I mean, it's just so intense. It is so just scary sounding. I mean, without that music, yeah, it could still be a good solid movie, but that to me just makes this movie just great. But it is awesome. Just the point of view of the shark going after people. So you don't really see the shark a whole lot till I would say the third act of the movie. But in the first 2/3, you get that, I guess, first shark perspective view, and you just kind of see the shark, going after its victims. But just how it's filmed and directed, you still get that intense thriller kind of suspenseful vibe to it. And when the Jaws does get somebody, oh my goodness, with all the blood, it's so horrific. Just everybody's reaction. So I really like this movie. I mean, I can't really think of a major flaw to this movie. Once again, it's great. Cinematography is excellent. So all the good components that make a movie great, this movie has it. I mean, you can just check mark all the boxes on this movie. So, really great movie. It's a classic movie, but it still holds up to today. I mean, 45 years. It doesn't even seem that old when you watch it. But once again, it's just so good, so awesome. You're invested in the characters in this movie. You want to see them take out the monster here, the creature being Jaws, right? The big giant great white shark. That's not your typical great white shark. It's a good time. It is a good time if you're a horror fan, if you're a fan of, these kind of creature attack movies. Jaws, hopefully everybody's heard of this one. Hopefully everybody's seen it. And yeah, this 4K steelbook is just awesome. So just take a look at the steelbook real quick. Really nice steelbook. I just like the way it looks. You get tons of bonus features with this 4K, and the 4K does look really awesome on this one. Looks great, sounds great. So Jaws in 4K, oh my goodness, it's amazing. It makes the movie seem so much more younger than what it is, and I mean, it's just a good thing. You get digital code with it, of course, but I love the inside of this steelbook, so I gotta show you it before we move on. So inside of the steelbook, right, you got a scene from the movie, iconic beach attack scene, so that is great. And then you got the 2 discs right there, and so you got Jaws on the 4K, which is nice. And then you got the Blu-ray. So it looks like the discs are a little bit different, so at least you can tell them apart, which is great. But once again, Jaws, I mean, all time, just such a good monster movie. If you have not seen Jaws, maybe you're kind of newer to movies, you haven't seen a lot of classic movies, go back and watch Jaws, especially if you're a horror movie fan, a monster movie fan, or just a fan of like thrilling, suspenseful kind of movies, or just a Steven Spielberg fan. Once again, this checks all the boxes. You gotta watch it. Yes, 4K Jaws is excellent, and just, it sounds so good, that 4K with the Jaws theme song. All right, getting into number 3 now. This is going to be third place. So at third place, I have It Chapter 2. And so this does count as a creature feature because it is an alien kind of creature that will transform into different monsters and whatnot. So it totally counts as a monster movie creature feature. More so than a slasher movie, in my opinion. So that's how I feel about it. That's why I put it on this list. So to me, definitely a creature feature. Now, I chose It Chapter 2 because I actually prefer Chapter 2 a little bit over Chapter 1, even though they are both good in my opinion. I know some people will say they like 1 a lot better than Part 2. A lot of people aren't a fan of Part 2 necessarily. I really like Part 2. Reason why I like Part 2 so much is just how it kind of starts off, and it shows, all the horrific things of being in an adult world and how that is so terrifying, even, being in certain situations that actually it might even be more terrifying than going up against, Pennywise the clown. Just different things that these adult characters now have to deal with just in their personal lives. I thought that was a really great way to tell the story and to kind of shine a light on that aspect of it all, because it was definitely horrific, a lot of those situations and moments. But then, of course, you got Pennywise back. Yeah, it does get a little formulaic. It kind of seems a little rinse and repeat in the middle area of this movie. But you know what? I still like it. I think they did perfect casting with the adult characters matching the look of the kid characters in the first Part 1 movie. So casting did a great job here. And, once again, Pennywise the clown, right? Played perfectly by Skarsgård. Yeah, super terrifying. Oh my goodness. You do not want to miss with Pennywise. Absolutely. Oh my goodness. So yeah, a lot of great scenes. I thought the effect work was pretty decent. I do like the ending of the movie. I know some people don't like the ending. I thought it looked pretty good. I mean, the best you could do with it based on the book itself. I know probably, the third act in the book isn't the strongest. So in the movies, it's, not going to be the strongest, but for being able to adapt it, I think they did a pretty solid job with it in this movie. At least I was entertained by it. I was rooting for all the characters to make it out alive, of course. And so, you know what? I had a good time with this movie. If you're a horror fan, you know the It movies. And just my personal favorite, It that's in 4K is going to be Chapter 2. I think the 4K looks really nice, especially with just all the effects, all the makeup, especially on Pennywise. Very, very terrifying. And the music that goes along with it, I think it sounds amazing on the 4K disc. Definitely great to have this on 4K. You need part 1 as well. So part 1, part 2, you need them both together. But for me, I just had to pick one for this list. I didn't want to double up on it. So today, I was feeling I liked part 2 just a little bit more. But maybe tomorrow, it will flip-flop. It just depends. But yeah, gotta have it in the collection. All right, next, getting into second place now, number 2. Ooh, what's going to be my number 2 favorite monster movie or creature feature on 4K? So I'm going to have to go with Gremlins. Yes, I'm going to have to go with Gremlins. I really like this movie, and I put it super high up on the list, and I thought about it a little more and more. Should it be that high up on the list? Is it better than these other movies I talked about? And I basically put it high up on the list because I feel like I would probably watch this movie more often because, it's a mixing of genres. You got the horror elements, but then, you got the holiday timing of it all. But then also you can almost consider it kind of like a family movie because it isn't like hardcore horror. It's not like super overly top, like gory, bloody, and violent. It's a little bit more tamed. Remember, this movie kind of sparked interest in making a PG-13 rating. So is it gateway horror? Is that what you would say? I'm not too sure, but Gremlins, it's a fun time. I like how it's told. It's a great story. I mean, Gizmo is awesome. I mean, I think I have a plush of it lying around here somewhere. But Gizmo is great. And then, of course, you have all these rules you gotta follow. You get the transformation going, and then you get the Gremlins. That's where it becomes a creature feature. And the Gremlins are just terrorizing the town. But this movie is really unique in that it has actually some dark comedy elements there, some satirical elements. I mean, you just see what the Gremlins are doing, like how they're behaving in the movie theater and just going wild. I mean, you can really kind of pick out some different things in there. And so I think this movie is actually really smartly made too. I think the dialogue's there, the writing, the script, all that's well filmed. The acting's great in there. I believe it's Phoebe Cates in there. Correct me if I'm wrong with that. But the talent's there. So, yep, enjoy the actors. And yeah, it's a fun story. And once again, most people in the family can probably enjoy this one. And you can watch this one all year long, but especially during the holidays. To me, this is like kind of my go-to holiday movie. At least one of them. You gotta watch Gremlins around the holidays, at least for me anyway. But I do like the steelbook as well. I just like kind of the look to it, the red, and then the rules that you gotta follow. You got Gizmo there on the front. And then I like the spine of it, of course. The back is a little simple there, but you do get a gremlin on the back, right, with the chainsaw. Yeah. And then you can kind of take a look at the specs if you want, but I believe you get a little bit of special features there. I don't think there was an upgrade in the sound quality when it went to 4K disc, at least from what I'm remembering. So maybe the sound wasn't too much of an upgrade, but I did like the 4K. The coloring, the sharpness, I think really shine through. So I do think it's a good movie to have on 4K. Of course, you get the digital and all that. And then I like the inside as well. You get a iconic scene out of the movie. The Gremlins acting wild in a bar, which is, a pretty funny scene. And then you got the 4K and the Blu-ray. Wish they put some scenes on those discs or some artwork because they are plain, but at least they're different colors so you can tell the discs apart. So it's better than nothing, but could have improved there overall. But I really like this steelbook. That also gave it a little boost in the rankings as well. But once again, it's just a real easy watching movie for a lot of people, and definitely just a fun creature feature. So really like Gremlins. That's why I had to put it up so high on the list. You asked me another day, maybe it would be lower on my list, but today I was just feeling in a Gremlins mood, so had to put that at number 2. But we are not done yet. we got our number one spot. First place, what is going to be the first place monster movie or creature feature? Well, this is actually a collection here of monster movies. My favorite piece of monster movies for a physical media collection. You got the classic Universal monsters, and you get 4 movies in here, so that's what helped boost this up in my rankings, because it's not just one movie like the others, it's 4 movies. So maybe it's a little bit cheating, I don't know, but that's what gave it a little boost to number 1. And these are iconic classic monster movies. You get Frankenstein, you get Dracula, the Wolfman, and the Invisible Man. And so these are all great movies, all movies that help inspired other horror movies and monster movies, right? Kind of the modern monster movies we have today were inspired by these classic monsters. And then of course these classic monsters have shown up in a whole bunch of other movies, have gotten remade a whole bunch of times, tons of sequels. I mean, you name it, these are the classic monster tales here. So I had to put this one at the top. Plus the 4K is amazing on this set. To me, 4K is great with really old classic movies, but especially black and white films. You can just see it more clearly, right? The brighter whites, the deeper darks. To me, it makes a massive difference. So I really like the 4K with this. The movies sound great. All of them are good movies. Now, my favorite, personally, would probably be The Invisible Man. I don't know, just something about that tale that really intrigued me. So that was probably my favorite monster movie out of the classic 4 here. But all of them are great. I mean, you can't go wrong with any one of them. I mean, Frankenstein, an all-time classic. I remember reading that book when I was younger and, seeing the classic movie. But watching it again in 4K is an absolute treat. And this is just a really cool box set. Of course, the front is great. The spine's nice and big, so you can find it easily on the shelf. You can see it on the back. It looks really nice. Definitely iconic films. You get tons of bonus features with every single movie here. Tons and tons and hours of special features for the movies. I mean, wow. They definitely pack a lot into it. But I mean, they're classic older movies, so that's probably why they have so much bonus features. Now, just to take a look at the inside real quick, it's kind of in that book format that Universal likes to do sometimes. And so you got the spine there. Of course, you get the digital code on the side. Yeah, the back is kind of simple. But then it's in this book style format, which I like it and I don't like it. I like it because it's very compacted. You get the cool artwork, and so you can just find everything, easily in one place, right? You can see what the movie posters look like. You can see the special features listed. So I like that about this kind of book style, and the book style does feel pretty durable. So, I like that. But the bad part is how the discs are in like these sleeves, and then you got to try to take it out. It takes forever to take them out because you want to be careful with it, and it feels like it almost scratches it if you take it out a certain way. And then when you try to put it back in, that's a whole nother hassle and process, and then you feel like you're scratching it again. I almost wish they could have done this book format, but then with separate disc holders just to keep the disc in place. Kind of like a mixture of maybe both kind of designs, just because the sleeve disc holders, I don't know, I'm not a massive fan of them. Those create a hassle, but I mean, everything else about this kind of style works for me. But once again, how to put all these classic monster movies that inspired so many other monster movies at the top. To me, no brainer here, at least for my selection, how to go with these ones. Now, I don't know if I'm going to rewatch these ones all the time, but I know I will rewatch them in the future, and definitely amazing on 4K. So this is an essential pickup for monster movie fans. Gotta get this in the collection. I'm ready for volume 2. That's going to be out here soon. So excited for that. But let me know in the comments below, what are some of your favorite monster movies, creature features, however you want to say it. How would you rank your favorites? Let's have those fun movie discussions down below. And if you're visiting the channel for the very first time and you love collecting physical media and being part of this awesome league of mega film fans, make sure you subscribe right now. That way you stay entertained and up to date on all the latest physical media topics.
Oh, it's alive! It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
And if you enjoyed this physical media topic video, click another video to see more. Also like the video. And this is Mega Mike the Movie Man reminding you to make every day a movie day.